I hope you're ready for a little, well, I don't know what you want to call it. I'm not going to be cooking, but it's something that I thought you might enjoy seeing, and you're probably familiar with it already. If you're not, listen closely. But first, I want to show you something I got for Valentine's Day. Came in the mail, big box, had several things in it. But one of the main things was a stack of handkerchiefs. Neat, clean, iron pressed, just perfect. You can see each one is different. Their edges are all the same, but the colors and the flowers vary. I'm just showing you a few of them. And I thought to myself, when I opened these up, how did this lady know I have a collection of handkerchiefs? But mine are all different sizes, all different shapes, and I never could come up with any great ideas for them. These are all the same shape, all the same edging, and various, let's see what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my Kleenex. You know, I've had this drippy nose for the last month, and I'm hoping the weather changes and I can get back to normal. So much for that. More handkerchiefs. See how pretty they are? Can you see them? Maybe you can zoom in and get a better look, but they're pretty enough just from the distance. I wanted you to see just exactly what I've got here. There's 13 of them. 13. Okay, now this is just part of them. I'm going to show you what I did with the rest of them. You remember seeing my little napkin lady, ceramic napkin lady? Everybody oohed and awed over it, just like I did when I first bought it. It's an item that's very hard to find. And this is the one I had. Now, I should have shown her to you undressed first, but it would take too long for me to get her picked up again. I'm going to hold her up so that you can get a good look. These are the handkerchiefs. Now, they're not folded properly. I didn't want to get them all wrinkled, so I just took a chance on putting them in. You can see they're all the way around. And what you see are slits in her skirt. You fold the napkin, or I should say the hanky, and you slide it into one of those slits. There are 12 of them. She sent me 13 handkerchiefs. I only put half of them in because I wanted you to be able to see the back side of it the way it looked originally, and then after you put the hankies in. So it gives the look, makes her look like her pretty skirt. Now, there are other styles of this same girl. Her arms are different. She may be holding a tray, different things. And one day, Jan walked in, and this is what she had. She had found this. You see, her hat holds a candle. Her skirt is just like the other lady. She looks a little bit like she might be with child, but that's the way the dresses and the bustles were back in those days. So I just put one hanky in so you could see how it was done. I folded it like this. Now I'm going to take another fold with this and see what happens. Let's hope I have good luck with it. We're going to see if we can make it look a little different. I'm giving it folded in square. Now I'm going to fold it again like this, and you see, you're seeing it like this. Okay, right through there I will put that hanky. Slides right into that space. Now, if I keep going around, I'll have all the different color hankies. Let's try one more. We're going to get this one folded. Fold again. Hope you can see what I'm doing. Now, I'm going to slide her in right beside this one. Scoot it in there nice and neat. And I can go on the underside and pull it up a little. See, I can pull on both of them. Okay, this is the beginning of her skirt. And when I get through going all the way around, you have all of your napkins. Now the next thing I'm going to do is blow out the candle. Knowing my luck, we better play safe and blow out the candle. So you see, I've got two of these ladies. Wouldn't take anything for them. They're just so precious. And they may not look that great from where your angle, but once you get it on the table and you get all of the other dishes and pretty things around her, she looks quite pretty. So I thought you'd like to see that first, and I was just thrilled when I saw these handkerchiefs, and I thought, oh, I've got to get my napkin lady out. I've got to put my napkins in, and I'll take these out later, keep them folded nice and neat so that they're ready whenever I need them for a luncheon. Now, the next thing I want to show you is, I'm doing this here because I just didn't want to do it in the kitchen. I'm going to put my cutting board up here, sort of to protect the tablecloth. Easy for me to work on, and I've got my knife, which I need handy. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I've got to be careful here because this bowl has pineapple juice in it. Now we're going to have a party, and I want to serve something a little different, a little special. Super Bowl game would have been a great day for this, because you usually have several sitting around. They like the crackers, the chips, the dips, what have you. So this, I don't think has a name. I'm just going to say apples and pears. And it has a dip. I'm going to show you the dip. This is my Fostoria candy dish. Came in handy. Perfect thing. In this candy dish, you see a dip. Now you can make this dip several ways, and all of you know how. Using your Cool Whip, using your cake icing, you can use your marshmallow fluff. What else? I used a little bit of whipped cream in it to thin it out because it was a little bit thick. Now, you proportion that according to the number of people you're working with and the number of apples and pears that you've got, because you want to have plenty of dip. I used 4 ounces of cream cheese for this. In that, I put about a third of a cup of cream cheese cake icing. Now, this is how I did it. You may have your own recipe. And then I had my Cool Whip. I dipped it out with a huge spoon, about 3 scoops of the spoon, and I whipped that all together nice and smooth. I decided it was a little bit thick, so I got out my whipping cream, shook it up good, and I put about, a little more than 1/4 of a cup of whipping cream in to thin it down. So here's what you've got. This is my, I guess you call it cake icing topping, my dip. This is the dip. It's a sweet dip. Very tasty. I'm going to set it aside. Now what I'm going to do next, I want this bowl of pineapple juice. And I want it out of the way while I work. Let's see. See what's... Okay, out of the way. Now, I think I'll lay my towel here. I took the core out of my apple. This has been washed. Nice, big. I think this is a Honeycrisp apple. But it was the size I wanted. You can see right through there. And this is what I used to core my apple. Went straight through, perfect job. And I took that core out. Well, my apple is ready. I did the same thing to this nice big pear. Now, I don't know the name of this pear, but there were about 4 different kinds, and I picked up this one because it's nice and fat. It doesn't look pretty. It's got little places where it's been picked, but there's no harm done there. You can see through it too, see? I took the center out with this. This is a handy little thing. Now, first, we're going to cut the apple. I'm going to cut it in half. And it's already started to get colorless because I've had it cut a few minutes, and I should have put it in pineapple juice immediately. But I'm going to go around this apple, and I'm cutting it thin slices, very thin as you can get them without tearing it. And that is going into my pineapple juice, 1 slice at a time. You'll be surprised how many slices you can get out of 1 apple. I'm going to cut this across the top. Now, you get to sit there and watch me cut my apple. And they may not all look the same size, but that doesn't matter. Once you start eating them, you don't care what shape they're in. But this is to keep them from turning dark. Most people use lemon juice. I don't like to use lemon juice because I don't like the taste of the lemon. So I use pineapple juice, or if you've got any, what is it, a fresh, I forgot what it's called. It keeps your fruit fresh. Fruit fresh, that's what it is. So, we're cutting this and lots of slices here. This is just 1/4 of this apple so far. That's going in. I'm going to do the another few slices because we're going to need all of these. And I want to get it done quickly so we don't have my apple turning brown. You know how that is. It's not very appetizing when you see something like that. So, but like I said, you can use pineapple juice. You can use fruit fresh. You can use lemon juice. I chose this little can of pineapple juice. It was just enough. Now, if it's not quite enough, add a little water to it. It won't hurt it. This one's a little thinner than usual. Didn't mean to cut it that thin, but that's okay. Now, there we go. We're starting to get those in there good. And I've got to do the whole thing, because if I don't, the apple is definitely going to turn brown. So here we go. It won't take long. You can look at me and see I got my hair curled today. Looked pretty good and made me look a little big in the head. But even so, it feels good to have my hair curled. Got on a new shirt too. Went to Goodwill yesterday. Big mistake. I didn't go in there looking for clothes. But first thing I saw was a rack of blouses. Kinda inviting. You know what happens? Well, it won't hurt to look. I never did think it hurt to look. It's just how much money you spend after you get through looking. That's what you have to be careful about. I bought 4 new tops. You know, the funny thing is, I guess in my size, when people, let me get this stirred up a little. I want that pineapple juice cover those apple slices. Won't take but a minute or two to get this other piece done. Yeah, get that brown off there. I'm a slow worker. That you already know. I've told you that a few times before. And I like making anything that I don't have to stand at the stove and cook. And with this, if you got a sweet tooth, you're gonna love it. And I'll show you how pretty it'll be too. Get this apple done. I want to hurry up and get this so I can get those pears in there. Just about got it. This is amazing. I could eat this last slice, but I want it kind of crunchy. And I don't want you listening to me crunch. Now, here's my apples down in here. I'm going to move them around so they all get touched with the juice. And they won't be brown. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, this is a nice looking apple. Now, next we have to do the pear. Let's see. I'm going to go right straight down the middle. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut the center out a little bit. That's okay. Get this over here. Now, I'm going to cut it like I did the apple, right down the middle. It's a little easier to cut it that way. Now you see the shape that your pear is going to be, and you saw the shape that your apple slices will be. Okay, let's get, I may make these a little thicker so I can get done. And I love the pears. There's what you got. your pear slices. And I'm telling you, you said that's an awful lot of pears and apples, and we'll never eat all those. Oh, you'd be surprised. You get to picking those up, it's like eating popcorn. One more bite, one more bite. So, okay, let's get this one here. Yeah, we gotta get that in there. And one more down the middle here. Okay, I know you think I'm going to cut my fingers off, but I'm being careful. So, yeah, I need a spoon here. I'll use this because I want to get those down in the juice. I may not have enough juice here for all of this, but we'll give it a try. I think we can make it work. Okay, let's get another piece of the pear cut. Down we go, slice after slice. I'm going to try to do this a little quicker this time. That's why I don't like to do the cooking. Take too much time to cut and peel and chop and all that stuff. And I want to put it together and put it in the oven, take it out of the oven, and say, here it is. Okay, there's a few more. We'll cut this off the top. And this off at the bottom. Don't like the looks of that. And now I've got to go in here and cut this center out. Whoop. Don't know much to talk about today. Got a lot of responses yesterday after I explained that I'd taken a little time off to get myself back together again and get my thoughts on some stories. Got to come up with some good stories. When you've done over 200 stories, that takes up a whole lot of my life, you know. And I wasn't that active. I was one of those that stayed home and didn't do much. So it's kind of hard to come up with some, what would you say, some exciting stories. Yes, I was probably one of the dullest kids in the neighborhood. I didn't have a lot of energy like the other kids had. We played in the yard, we climbed trees, we waded in the branch, getting those salamanders and tadpoles out of the creek. What in the world we wanted with them, I'll never know. But it was something to do. That's what kids did in those days. And in the summertime, if you knew how to swim, you went to the gym. I didn't go to the gym much because I didn't know how to swim. And Mama was afraid I would drown myself. This piece doesn't look too good. I'll leave that one out. Okay, we're just about there. Because I want you to see how pretty this is when I get through. Take a little strip out of the side. Isn't this fun? Oh, I've got on one of my new shirts. Forgot to tell you. See, I get off the subject. Can't stick with the subject. So, I was finding too many good-looking shirts yesterday. I said, I don't need these, but and it just cost $6. Why not? So this is one of my new shirts. Sleeves feel a little bit tight, but I don't mind that as long as they're not too long. And these are the 3/4 length sleeves. I can't wear long sleeve shirts because I got short arms. Isn't this fun? You didn't know that many slices to a pear, did you? Okay, one more. I'm going to eat this one. Oh, that's a good pear. Now, you know what I'm going to do? Got all these scraps here. I'm going to try pouring some of this in this bowl. Now I can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a mess. It's going to work okay. I'm going to get it done. Drop these pears right down in there. Get them nice and wet. More apples. I know what I'm going to be doing when I get through here. I'm going to see if I can find me a movie on. I'm just about to run out of good movies. I don't have but 2 channels that shows movies much. Now, let's put some of this stuff to the side I've been working with. There's my scraps. I'll get it right over here all the way. And now, here's what I'm going to do. This is one of the easiest things you can do, and it's one of the best. Here's my big Victoria plate. You see I've got a red charger under it. That's my red charger. They come in pretty handy. But if I don't put that under there, you can't see the Victoria plate and the design that well. See how pretty it shows up? You turn it different angles so the light hits it. Okay, I do that. So we want this to be a pretty, pretty plate. Now, we're gonna set this dip right in the middle. And I'm going around and around and around. I'm going with these apple slices. Can you see me? Yeah, I want you to see this. We just keep on going. May not be perfect, but that's okay. You just watch and learn. I need to get this other one that's got more apples in it. Okay. I'm not getting them exactly even, but I just want you to get the idea of what we're doing and what a pretty display it will make. Now this is a large tray, so you can use a large dinner plate. Keep going. That's a thick one. I'm not kidding you. You just wouldn't believe how good these apples and the pears taste with this sweet dip. And you can use that dip for a lot of other things too. You can even use it for cake icing if you want to. Golly, I've almost got my... This one apple is covering this whole tray. I wouldn't have thought it. I was planning on it covering half. Okay. Well, we could put those even closer together since I've got so much. And we start around with the pears. They're not as easy to place because they're kind of skinny on one end, but that doesn't matter. You still get the idea. Let's get some of these pretty pieces. Oh yeah, we're doing fine. Okay, still got this pineapple juice. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. Wipe my fingers off. Put this on the side as well. Now, I'll put my little ladies over here to one side so they won't get in the way. Candle will take it out. But just to give you an idea, of what you can do with one apple and one pear. Oh, you can't see it, can you? Well, we'll move it back here. Okay, let's come back this way. I can turn it around so you can see it better. Let me see if I can move my camera a little bit. I'm going to lean it forward. And we'll see. There it is. Can you see that? It's right pretty, isn't it? I'm going to lift the camera off the floor and see if we can get a little closer. I want you to see what a pretty dish that is and what a pretty centerpiece it will make. And I guarantee you that anybody that samples it will be surprised if they've never eaten it before. They won't be able to think about eating Cool Whip and cream cheese with apples and pears. But you can. There you go. The bad thing is I'm gonna dump every bit of that back in the pineapple juice. Put a lid on it. And I'm gonna get me a plate full of them. Still got my Valentine. I just love this flower arrangement. I like flower arrangements that had no design to them, just lots of pretty color. turn this around so I can, oh, got my little, this is a little Fostoria shot glass. I've had these toothpicks for years. Never would use them because I was afraid people would throw them in the trash. And I don't want my pretty toothpicks thrown in the trash. So, what you do this, get you a little dip on the other end of that. You got your cream cheese on it. Your kids are going to sit and watch Andy Griffith's show and eat apples and pears and get healthy. You're not going to be wondering where they are. You just lift your head around the corner of the doorway and there they'll be sitting with a bowl of pear slices and apple slices and some good dip. Yep, pretty good stuff. Of course, they're going to put the dip on their own plate. They're not going to be dipping it like I'm doing. I don't have to worry about it because nobody here but me. Oh, whoop. There we go. Now, I hope you like this demonstration. Quick and easy. Good to eat. And you'll be glad you tried it. Now let's go over it again. For this much, well actually it made more than this. I just put this much in the dish. I used 4 ounces of cream cheese. You gotta get it nice and soft so it'll mix and spread good. Then you add about, what did I say, 1/4 cup, maybe a little more. You might want about 1/3 of a cup of cream cheese cake icing. Now I bought the marshmallow fluff because in most recipes they call for the marshmallow. But after I put the Cool Whip in with this, I decided I didn't need the marshmallow, so I can save that and use it for something else. Thin it down with your whipping cream. And this is what you've got. 1 apple, 1 pear, and your fruit fresh, lemon juice, or pineapple juice to keep your fruit from turning color. It's not hard to cut the apple. It looked like it takes a long time, but you saw how long it took me, and I'm a slow cutter. I'm glad you're sticking with me. I'm anxious to hear what you have to say about this display because I think it is pretty. And this is the kind of thing I like to do. So, I'm going to put these apples in one jiffy bag. I'm going to put the pears in another jiffy bag, and I'm going to pour pineapple juice in those jiffy bags and zip them up good. Put them back in the refrigerator where they'll stay fresh, where they'll keep their nice clear color. And when you feel the mood, you just go in and get you a fork, pick out 3 or 4 each one, get you a little bit more of the topping. You're set for the day. I guarantee you'll enjoy this. And definitely if you've got a friend coming over, surprise your friend with this. She'll be impressed, or he'll be impressed. I was impressed the first time I saw it. That's all I've got to tell you tonight. I was trying to think if I had anything new to say. Haven't talked to Jan today. She's working today. But when I say something to her about, I'm having trouble coming up with the story, oh, you'll think of something. She has a lot of confidence in me. Yeah, you'll think of something. I've already told you I'm going to Cumberland Falls March the 8th. I'm going to be on program. I'm going to get to tell the story. Oh, goodness gracious, I hope they don't start yawning and looking toward the door while I'm talking. But the young man that invited me to do this, he's a very good storyteller. And I figure if he has confidence in me and he thinks I can do it, I can do it. Because he's a very experienced storyteller. And if he likes to hear my stories too, I'm going to go for it. I'll be back with you in a day or two when I can come up with a new story for you. They're just simple everyday things. They're the things you do, things you did when you were a kid, things your parents did, and your cousins and whoever you played with. Just ordinary everyday folks doing ordinary everyday things and remembering those things with pleasure. And what I'm doing here, I'm doing because it's a pleasure. I enjoy it, and I really hope I'm going to please you. So I've got to get up now, come back around the table, and I'll say good night to you. Let's see. Yep, time for me to find me a good program on TV and get right back with me when you watch this one. It's a long one. Thank you.